Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Red Panda Anthem.
Speaking of crypto, let's talk about crypto. Okay, Solana. Solano Network shut off line for the 8th time this year. You want to explain that? You want to talk about that a little bit?
You want to take it since you have a non-biased opinion?
Nah, I mean, so it's interesting, man, because we were just talking about which one of these blockchains could actually not even compete, but be a secondary tier to Ethereum. And the one that I was saying was like, look, Solana, especially from obviously the gas fees and how quick these transactions can happen. So just obviously with Terra Luna happening and the collapse, and to see Solana go down, I'm just like, damn. It goes back to what we kind of talked about yesterday, this trust level, right? When we're investing in things, do we really trust what we're doing? So when we see things like this, especially in cryptocurrency, because everybody's really skeptical about it, it's like, still, it stings a little bit. Do I still believe in cryptocurrency? 1,000%. Do I still believe in Solana? I still do. Obviously, it's a newer coin, right? 5 years ago, there was no Solana. 4 years ago, there was no Solana. And so it's newer. So they have to work out the kinks. These things will happen. Obviously, you know, the coin's price went down in value, but I still believe in it. I will still stand there. I still believe in it.
Here's the easiest way to know if you should invest in crypto. Take it to an elder and explain it. If you have a grandma or grandpa living and just explain what the project is, they're going to tell you, this sounds terrible. Or this is some BS. I'm not going to curse because I have no smooth king. Right? But if it doesn't make sense to a kid or an elder and they've lived through different rates of inflations, different market cycles, seeing different scams, right? A lot of the people in crypto are people that could not sustain their jobs in tech and have an impact on the social media side. So they ran to fintech to build a project. Same thing with Luna. And it goes to show that a lot of these projects are not decentralized. And I'm going to keep saying it, even though it's not a popular take. And the SEC chair came out and said, hey, if you're raising money behind this project, it has to be classified as a security. Bitcoin has a certain level of protection because it's a property, but also the governments that are behind it. Please be careful. I still like Solana a little bit, but it is not decentralized.
Well, let's
commenting.
Let's talk about that. SEC Gary Gensler saying Ethereum is a security. Why does that matter?
Because if you have to undergo regulation, and if the thesis is crypto will give a higher return and it's a safer alternative to banking, now you have to go underneath the regulation and scrutiny of every other stock. You're going to have price controls based on that regulation. It's not that I don't like Vitalik. For the record, I have no bias towards any of these. I just want to invest in the thing that makes me the most money. I don't like when you guys are misled though. And like, hey, and you can go Google when Vitalik said it is a security out of his own mouth. So will it remain top two yes, for now. Bitcoin is going to be the preeminent player. And think of Apple as like Bitcoin for crypto, and Bitcoin is Apple for the crypto community. It's a certain level of safety. The number 2, 3, and 4 players are going to change in these next 5 years. Because now when we're in a recession and people are losing money and billions are being lost, they have to step up and quote unquote protect the people from these projects. It's like 99 all over again with the IPO market.
I'm trying to think about how much they've changed over the past 5 years, right?
2016, 2017.
Yeah, those
Litecoin was on fire. Where's Litecoin?
Litecoin was definitely number 3. XRP was definitely 4, and it's still in the top 10.
Yep.
We had XLM up there. Tron was up there at one point.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they just changed. And that's the key. And I always try to compare it to like when people say it's a .com, it's a .com. And I'm like, well, if it's that, then let's find the Amazon, let's find the Google, right? Let's find the Apple and then hold on to that. So that's important. That's why it's like important. And a lot of people are like, well, how do I find the use case? Well, that's when you got to do the research and read the white papers. And if you believe in this use case, then
go follow the money too. Because if the governments are backing Bitcoin as the preeminent player, that's the one and that's why I keep saying, like, I know people hate the way that I say it. I don't know how else to say it. If the governments and hedge funds are putting their money into Bitcoin, that's the one that's going to survive. There's no business on earth that banks and hedge funds don't touch. You can argue it all that you want to. This isn't my opinion. You can go look at some of the interviews of the people who created this. They're going to tell you there's a reason why Bitcoin gets to get classified as property while other things do not. And also, if it's a player after the fact, if you're a copycat or the 19th best crypto, most cryptocurrencies are going to fall apart. Most projects are going to fall apart. Just invest in the top two. I saw a comment earlier. A lady said she's been watching for 2 years, don't know where to start. VOO, index fund, Apple, Microsoft, buy those every month. It's not about having the most knowledge. It's really just taking the information and then applying. And then also on the crypto side, buy Bitcoin. That's it.
Stay on number one.
So Elon Musk, there's rumors that he's stepping away from the Twitter deal.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Why?
Well, there's a number of reasons. Why is the real question? Is he stepping away because of the alleged amount of bots and he can't get a real accurate count of the active users? Or
23% of Twitter is bots.
Or right, so he couldn't get an accurate number. So he's saying like that might be a term that couldn't be met and information that couldn't be provided. So I'm stepping away. Or is it because the price at which he was willing to purchase it at, I was thinking like $54 per share.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is no longer at $54 per share. It's actually like $39 per share.
$39.
So like we've seen he overpaid for it. And so now is it like, hey, I overpaid for this acquisition, $44 billion. It's not worth that right now. Like 3 weeks later, is he trying to get out of the deal because of that factor? So that's why I'm saying the why is very interesting.
Yeah. A good transition to buy Truth Social. Told you, I'm telling you that if I offer,
you think that's the next move?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Why not? Because then if you come out and say, hey, next election, I've been historically Democrat, ha ha ha, but now I'm gonna be Republican. Oh, great. Buy Truth Social, then promote Trump.
Okay.
You get power to be able to control politicians. Yes or no? I'm asking, do we want to have honest conversation or do you want me to give you fluff?
Let me get my bottom.
I'll step away and be calm. Rashad, you don't got to worry. Listen, if y'all, even when people are like, yo, he's a stock guy, I picked the name Master Investor, not Master Stock Guy for a reason. Why? Because every person on earth that is top of their class knows how to invest in every asset. Even Tristan from Bevel. You guys know Tristan used to trade crude futures before he got into Silicon Valley. Every great investor, Elon included, knows how to trade. Remember in 2020 when he was like, hey, Tesla's overvalued.
Yeah.
And then it dropped 25%. And then it went back up. What did they do their buybacks at? Tim Cook. All know how to invest. You have to be able to invest in every market, and that's the only way you can solidify and make sure that when a recession comes, you do better than ever. He's not going to pay $54 a share. And I would argue that Twitter probably is the most useless social media platform there is. And if you don't believe me, go ask any advertiser. There's a reason why they don't spend a bunch of money there.
So do you think he walks away?
Unless he can get it for maybe $20 a share.
Right. Like bring the value.
Yeah, bring the value down.
We got to renegotiate this. Right? The
Absolutely.
54 doesn't make sense. But that was part of it, right? The part that when there was rumors that he was interested in buying it around April 4th, we saw it go from 39 and we saw it tick up, and it got up to $54. And it was like, oh, the deal is going to happen. And this is, I think we kind of were like, hey, let's make some puts on this because this doesn't make sense. He's paying over the value of it. And so the people who made those puts, obviously, congratulations. You obviously make some money doing that investment. But now it's like, how far can we get this thing down till it makes sense? So you're saying like $20. I don't know.
Your job is to get the best deal.
The best deal, right? Yeah, I get that part, but I think it's a ploy. I think he may walk away, man. I think he walks away.
And then he used the media cycle.
And then exactly
50 and Kanye. Well, that's when like people are like, yo, what you're doing is crazy. Notice every time I rant though, the views go up.
Yeah. People like toxicity.
I learned. Right?
It's the clubhouse. It's the clubhouse. It's clubhouse effect.
Yeah, but you have to learn to turn it into something of value. Like the 50% value of Twitter is at $47.44. You think he would pay what half the value is? His job is to get it 80% off.
Right.
Everything is in a price. Please put in chat. The price that you pay determines your level of wealth. Everybody who bought everything too high, Bitcoin 55,000, Dogecoin 28 cents. Like your job is to wait for it to come down to the best price and then load the boat there. and you're good. Don't buy at the highs. Please don't.
So yeah, it's 9,100 people on here.
Wow. Love y'all.
Definitely
Two,
appreciate
what
y'all.
up?
Let's get this to 9,500. Maybe we could do something special for the people.
Ernest, what's going on?
Hit the
Shout out
like
to y'all.
button, share. But since this is a big episode, let's give them some bonus content. Troy, did you make any moves in your portfolio you want to talk about?
So I did. So people were asking, what should we do? What should we do when Amazon splits? Let's do both. I already have positions in Amazon when it split. Obviously, I got more. And so now Amazon is nearly a part of my 1,000 shares club. And that was part of the conversation. Shout out to Myron Golden and Neil. We have this conversation.
Yeah.
And he was talking about cover calls. And so that's something I'm studying now because I already know, like, once I have shares now, instead of buying options, I can sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that I'm interested in doing. So I was like, look, the first foundation of that is having the shares. And so let's start with 100. And so, yeah, I got more shares of that. What else did I do? Oh, CrowdStrike. I obviously did the research on what they were going to do going into earnings. And so I got another call on CrowdStrike out into, I believe, September, like at 170 or something like that. So yeah, man, just making like short strategic ones, not over trading, having a lot of cash.
Around how many trades are you?
So this is May. That was May. So I did like 2 in May. And that's not even a trade. Like I bought shares. I don't even count that as a trade. Like an option. I did 1 option last month, but just making these very strategic plays, as opposed to, when we were doing, hey, let's invest 2 years out, which is great and has worked out for us numerous occasions, but let's make some short strategic ones inside the money, so that we can have some growth as well.
Yeah, and then after 17 months, like you guys put in chat, when did they announce that we would be in recession? I told you guys in October, but when did the Federal Reserve or the government announce that we were in recession? Will this be over? 17 months after that date, historically. Like it's almost like to the T, 17 months. This summer will be rough. Even Jamie Dimon said, hey, hurricane is coming.
Hurricane is on his way.
Don't know what kind. Summers are tough.
Could be a category 1.
If you are not a good trader in the summer months, please write this down. I want you to practice June, July, August.
Yeah.
So you don't blow up your account. Come back in September, October, you'll be able to do great.
Yeah.
And then just continue to buy it. 17 months from the date that they announced it, that's when the coast to be clear.
Yeah. And those months are important. And we kind of said this like after people they don't really understand that. Like after we finish Market Mondays, like we usually get on a phone call, like that was amazing. I forgot to say this. And one of the things we spoke about was like telling people about June, that third quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the summer months. We start seeing trading volumes go down. And so, this is going to be a time where you're going to have to learn how to invest and how to trade, because the volumes that we were seeing in previous quarters outside of 2020, when we saw the summer months, that they were still trending upwards. And then September 3rd happened and it was like, wait, what is this? So we saw the first pullback. So understanding how the market moves and by quarters, what happens. I just want to add something really quickly because somebody was like, yo, let's give something else. So, and this happened in today. We spoke about this, I believe, in December when we were trying to make our predictions for 2022 on some of those companies. And obviously we picked them. I said Amazon was going to be my company of the year, but there was like a sleeper in the semiconductor field. And that was on Semiconductor. All right.
What is it?
On Semiconductor, ON.
ON.
Yeah. So that semiconductor that's kind of revolves around EVs.
Okay.
So they're electronic. They focus in the automotive industry. And today they were added to the S&P, which is incredible, right? For this company that probably most people don't talk about. Maybe CNBC has said it a few times, but they got added to the S&P. So now you're added to an index. It's like now you've been invited to the big boy club.
Yeah.
So this is a small company, but definitely set to put it on your radar. Went up 7% today, and our good friends at Under Armour got removed from the S&P 500.
Long time, and the CEO stepped down.
And he stepped down as well. So again, if you had it on your radar, and that's what I was saying, the young man who was at Roots Picnic said, yo, I still got on. And he was like, I made a great investment on it. I'm like, yo, I'm proud of you. And then when I saw the news today that they had been added to the index,
it's a nice jump.
Nice jump.
Look at Under Armour in 2015. They were $46. They're currently at $10. They had hit a low of $6.37 in 2019. They can't beat Nike. That's why, like, even let's talk to my crypto people. What coin right now can beat Bitcoin in terms of just pure price value? Because I don't know about crypto, but I'm an advocate for Bitcoin, right? always compare, is this stock better? And take the emotion out of it. If you look pure facts, there isn't a manufacturing company, athletic company that can beat Nike. Even if you look at Apple, Apple is like the biggest luxury goods company in the country that masquerades with tech. Lenovo and Samsung can't command the same price points that Apple does. Invest in the top one in the space and you'll be good. I promise you.
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's
This
good?
that Red Panda Anthem.
Your
Whole
boy.
clip going up. I know they can't stand it.